Tuesday, July 20th here. This is the Chicago time here in the United States. This is going to be a weather forecast, which really I'm just getting from AccuWeather. It's for the city Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. It's very, very fascinating, the weather forecast for this city. Somehow this city has gone unnoticed, and it's just unbelievable stuff that's going on over there. You have the afternoon highs between 105 and 108 degrees for the next 7 days, and it's probably like that for the next couple of months, and it has been like that. But overnight lows are only dropping into the mid-90s. That is very, very impressive. Overnight lows dropping from 93 to 96 degrees for the next week. Now the question is, why are the overnight lows only dropping into the lower and mid 90s, which is probably the highest overnight lows in the world? It's very likely that it's occurring in that city. So one would think a good possibility would be because of the humid conditions, the very humid conditions. One would think perhaps the dew points are in the mid 80s, maybe even upper 80s. But they're not. It is extremely humid in this city. It is on the Persian Gulf. But the humidity is equivalent to what it would be in Miami. And with that type of humidity, the temperatures could very easily drop into the mid-70s. Remember, temperatures never drop below the dew point. Dew points in the mid-70s are expected there for the next week. Perhaps even upper 70s at times, but also sometimes in the lower 70s. So one would think that temperatures would be dropping into the low to mid 70s, or if you have a daytime high of 107 degrees with high humidity, at the very least, you should be able to get temperatures to do a 20-degree drop into the mid and upper 80s. That would be a standard drop. I mean, look at the St. Louis, Missouri area, where afternoon highs are in the mid-90s in the summertime during heat waves. Dew points are in the mid-70s, and overnight lows drop into the mid-70s. They drop down to the dew point. But they also do a 20-degree drop, but no more than a 20-degree drop in high humidity. And there you have in this city in the Dubai area, United Arab Emirates. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right or not, but it could easily do a 20-degree drop with temperatures dropping into the 80s for overnight lows. But they're not going to do that. Temperatures will be dropping into the 90s, and that's it. Not even 90. We're talking about 93, 95, some nights only 96 degrees. These are just brutal temperatures. The lowest temperature of the day, 95 degrees, with a dew point of 75. That's going to be a heat index of 105. The heat index never drops lower than 105, for real. Never drops lower than 105 for the next week. Afternoon, peak heat indices is going to be about 120 degrees. And when you factor in the fact that it's just brutal sunshine, we're talking about no rain whatsoever, just brutal sunshine over there, we're going to be, that also makes temperatures feel up to about 15 degrees warmer than they actually are. And this is a city where they're getting basically the strongest sun in the world. So, temperatures easily could be feeling like 135 degrees in this city. Of course, over there, they're used to 107 degrees feeling like 135. So to them, this feels like 107 degrees. This is what their version of 107 degrees is. But the question is, why are temperatures only dropping into the 90s? And here is a solid answer to that. It's because the city is on the Persian Gulf. The Persian Gulf consists of the hottest temperatures in the world. The seawater temperatures generally in the month of July range from 87 to 93 degrees, and temperatures in some areas of the Persian Gulf, the water temperatures go up to 95 degrees on occasion. There have been reports of water temperatures in the upper 90s. So we're talking about, they say the water temperatures are between 30 and 35 degrees Celsius, which is 86 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Water temperature today, depending on the source that you're looking at, is approximately 91 degrees, 92 degrees, some say 90 degrees, somewhere in the low 90s. So when you have wind coming off of that water, so the temperatures, the air temperatures are going to be dropping pretty much close to the water temperature. One would still think that the air temperature should be able to get down to 91 degrees to that that water temperature. So it could be that it's only on the shore over there that the water temperatures are in the low 90s. Perhaps when you go further out into the ocean, the water temperatures are in the mid 90s. That's a possibility, although that would be the opposite of what we find in other areas. But you never know. But in any case, we have high humidity. We also have that ocean water temperatures, hot water temperatures. Now, they say the most ideal water temperature for swimming is 84 degrees. A water temperature under 77 degrees is considered cold, and temperatures under 70 is really cold. When you go here in the Chicago area, it's, we're used to water temperatures under 77 degrees. Water temperatures in the 70s are just fine. The water temperatures usually peak here in Chicago about 80 degrees in the month of August, and the highest water temperature ever recorded here in Chicago in recent history, which is really all of history because we've only been taking the water temperatures accurate records in recent times, 83 degrees. Highest dew point in Chicago has also been 83 degrees. I don't think they occurred at the same time, but they didn't. The 83 degree dew point occurred back in July of 1995. We're talking about heat indices, and that type of heat temperatures feel about 23 to 26 degrees warmer, 26 degrees warmer than they actually are. That certainly is brutal heat, which occurred here in Chicago and much of the Midwest during that heat wave of 1995. But again, this city, it's in the United Arab Emirates. It's Dubai, and it's just brutally hot in that city 24 hours a day. So hopefully everyone there has air conditioning. I do not know what the story is. They're probably beyond excessive heat warnings over there. It's just like how you can't. What's the point? It's just every day, it's just unbearable heat, suffocating heat for that area. Dew points are not in the 80s, however. They're not in the 80s. It's interesting that dew points are only in the 70s. It's extremely humid. But I would think you would have dew points about 10 degrees cooler than the ocean water temperatures. That's what I've noticed on the Gulf Coast, that a lot of times you have dew points in the cities are between 10 and 15 degrees cooler than the ocean water temperatures. So such as in Houston, Texas, you would have dew points of around 73 or 74 degrees or 75 degrees. Sometimes the ocean water temperatures get up to about 90 degrees on the beach over there. Whereas Galveston, Texas, which is really an island, so almost surrounded by water, they tend to get dew points, more frequent dew points of 78, 79, or even 80 degrees, about 10 degrees cooler than what those water temperatures are. So I would think you would have dew points of about 81, 82 degrees in Dubai, but 76 degrees, that also fits. It's 15 degrees cooler, so it's maybe has a din. It has a din of Houston, not a din of Galveston. It has the status of a Houston. Maybe it's not really surrounded by water over there. Maybe it's just very close to the coast. I don't know what the story is over there, and maybe that's why we have dew points of 76 degrees. It's interesting that you have a city like New Delhi, India. Dew points are higher over there. It's more humid over there than it is in a place which is on the Persian Gulf. One would think that the Persian Gulf would be a city that's the highest humidity in the world. And they say that's what it is. But you have this country, India, which also has highest dew points in the world. That should be pointed out. That's under the humidity in India is underestimated. It's not acknowledged the way it should be. I feel it's not really. India is not on the Persian Gulf, to my knowledge. In the Red Sea, also, they have very high water temperatures. Some say the Red Sea is even higher than the Persian Gulf. And the places which get the highest humidity, much of Iran is on the Persian Gulf. These are places where you're going to see dew points in the 80s. But India, we also have dew points in the 80s. We also have places like Vietnam, the Philippines, also some areas in China also could experience dew points in the 80s. And even along the Gulf Coast, especially in Mexico, occasionally do get dew points in the low 80s. We have very heavy rain, by the way, which is hitting some areas in India right now. Just continuous 1 to 2 inch rainfalls of each day, each night, just constant thunderstorms. It's very hot, very humid. Temperatures are about 90 in many cities with dew points in the low 80s. So heat indices are about 110 or a little bit higher, with very, very heavy rain occurring in many cities. Maybe we will update that. We'll do a podcast on that later on. These are the monsoon rains, just continuous thunderstorms with very heavy rainfall in India. Mudslides, very dangerous stuff is occurring right now. And that's the story over there, but this is really, again, there's this very unique city. It could probably other cities on the Persian Gulf are similar, where you have daytime highs of 105, nighttime lows of 95, day after day after day. It's just suffocating heat. I want to go ahead and just briefly say what those temperatures would be in Celsius. In Celsius, because that area goes by Celsius. So we're looking at Celsius, the temperatures, we're dealing with 40 degrees to 40 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. Those are the high temperatures expected, and the overnight lows are about 35 degrees Celsius. Water temperatures are about 32 degrees Celsius. Overnight lows, again, 35 degrees Celsius. Daytime highs 40, 41 degrees Celsius. The heat indices will be approaching 46 degrees Celsius. Maybe even 47 and 48 degrees Celsius, somewhere around there. 46 to 47 degrees Celsius will be the heat indices. Heat indices is the temperature that it feels like combined with the humidity. It does not take the sunlight into consideration. The sun could make temperatures feel up to about 7 degrees Celsius warmer than what they actually are. Maybe even we should say 8 degrees, about 15 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than they actually are. I would say that's about approximately 8 degrees, 15 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, it'll be about 8 degrees Celsius warmer than it actually is. So when you factor that in, the real field temperatures are actually going to feel more like 54 degrees Celsius. But, again, in that city, they're used to 40 and 41 degrees. They're used to 41 degrees Celsius feeling like 54 degrees Celsius. So to them, this is what 41 degrees feels like. 41 degrees Celsius, this is what it feels like. And that's the deal. The most pleasant water temperatures, the most ideal swimming conditions is 29 degrees Celsius or 28 degrees Celsius to 29 degrees Celsius, 84 degrees Fahrenheit, and anything with a water temperature under 25 degrees Celsius is considered cold. But here in Chicago, that's what we deal with for most of the year. Anything under 20 degrees Celsius is very cold, Even things of 21, even 21 degrees Celsius, maybe. 21, I've been in water temperatures colder than 20 degrees Celsius, and it's not the end of the world. But in any case, water temperatures there can go up to 35 degrees Celsius. This is a unique city, and that's why I wanted to speak about it. A unique city experiencing such intense heat at night, where the heat index at night does not drop under 40 degrees Celsius. Just mind-boggling stuff. This is constant. And there's no rain over there. The chances of rain are between 1% and 2%, It's amazing heat, amazing humidity, just amazing stuff. I wish everybody a great day. Stay safe and enjoy if you're going out. There's a special type of salt in the ocean over there as well, which I don't know that much about. But in any case, enjoy yourself.